Okay, this is video number 1 on do-it-yourself FMT. First I'm going to give a short tour of the items that are on my desktop. This is covered with, on this particular case, it's half of an extra large chucks, and I change it at least every day. Sometimes I have to change it during the process, but I try not to do that. But you just want to keep your work surface clean. Remember that we are working with feces here. This is the bowl, the spoon, the strainer. This just measures water for me to put into the stool. These are the capsules. They come in bags of 1,000. You don't need that many, but once I fill the capsules, they'll be put in here. This is the syringe that I use to fill them. It's a 10 milliliter oral syringe. You can buy all this stuff on Amazon. I keep a roll of paper towels handy just in case for spills. I keep antibacterial wipes just in case it gets someplace I don't want it. You want to be sure and keep anything that's antibacterial away from any items that are going to be touching your sample. You need all that good bacteria and those healthy microbes. I keep a box of gloves handy here, and I'll change those several times as we're going on. I also use spring water to mix with the sample because it doesn't have any chlorine, has never had chlorine in it. And yes, that's kind of a tour. I usually do this with a respirator, but today I'm doing it without the respirator so that you'll be able to hear me talk. I'm just going to walk you through the process. Right now I'm just putting on my gloves before I go touching anything. And the first thing I'm going to do is move everything to the side here. The sample was just delivered a few minutes ago. And you'll notice that he went to great care to make sure that there's no air in the bag. This is an anaerobic process. You want to keep as little air in contact with the specimen as possible. So I'm going to guess just at the amount of water that I might need to start out. I may have to add more later, but let's just start. So I'm going to open the smallest area that I can and start to put water inside the bag with the specimen. Ideally, we would be in a laboratory setting where I could ensure that there's less air introduced to this whole process, but we don't have that, so we do what we can with what we have to work with. Okay, so once again I'm going to try to squeeze out every last bit of air before I seal it back down. Sometimes this ends up leaking out the top before I can get it sealed. If it does, that's when you change the chucks. One of them. That's like 100 times. 100 opportunities to change this chucks through this process. We made it today. Okay, so we're double sealed. This is a heavy duty Ziploc brand bag. You don't want to go with a wimpy bag, and you're going to see why. Okay. So you just start squishing. Is there a technical term for this, a medical term? Just start mixing the water and the sample. I have an air pocket up here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that out or not. Sometimes you just can't get it all out. double, triple checking up there again. Okay. So I think that's all the hair that I'm going to get out. There's a little bit in there, but that's pretty typical, really. Just want to make sure that all the lumps and bumps are broken down because there's good microbes inside every little chunk. Except we did work with some corn and beans the other day, and I don't worry about squishing those completely out because they sift out later. And, you have to look at this as medication, not what it really is. It really helps the process. Today was pretty easy. These bumps went out pretty good, so I'm going to add a little more water. Get this more down to the consistency that we're going to need at the end. Ew. I don't want to make it too thin yet because it actually goes in the capsules better if it's thick. So I'm just going to add a little more. So I'm going to pull this down so that I can safely open the top and add more water. Don't want to lose any of the specimen. Every bit is critical. You need every bit that you can get. Okay, again, we're going to open the smallest area possible. Let's start putting a little bit of spring water in there. That's probably enough. Double check that lock again. And now I'm going to work that down into my mixture. Again, I have a little pocket of air right there, but it's just not, it's not the perfect circumstances to do this, but just do the best that you can. If you decided to do everything perfect on this, you'd never get it done. Or would be so late that any microbes that are alive in there would be gone. So just worry about it to a certain area. Okay, now you want to get everything down away from the opening because we're getting ready to open it. And this is our processing bowl. This is silicone. You should always use glass, silicone, or stainless steel. And this is a extra fine strainer. This is a 7.5 inch bowl and a 7.5 inch strainer, so I get a good tight fit on there, and also a deep fit. That's pretty important. If you get too small of a strainer, or too shallow, or too tall even of a bowl, it just doesn't work as well. This particular combination seems to work well. Okay, so I'm going to carefully open the bag and pour the specimen into the strainer. And I want every little bit that I can get out of there. So I start from the bottom and just start working it down. Don't want to waste it. This is when you wish you had a respirator on. Starting right now. I just try to think of it as medication, not what it actually is, I guess, because it is medication. This particular medication is going to save my life because I've been really sick. Okay, that's about all I'm going to be able to get out of there. So I bend this over as well as I can. Yeah, and I got some of my gloves. So I have a trash can right here under the camera that you can't see. And I'm going to put that down in the trash can. I'm going to take these gloves off because I kind of fouled them a little bit. Before I do that, I'm going to wipe this extra off the rim here. I don't think you can be too careful with this stuff. You just don't want this floating around there. Your house. So. I probably could have just wiped those off, but better safe than sorry for me. I'm kind of a germaphobe. I usually put on some nice soft music in the background, but it's on my phone. And I'm recording this with my phone, so no music today, folks. Hum or something like you do in the bathroom. It helps. Okay, you can see the sample now, and the sifter is firmly attached to the bowl. This spoon is very flexible, so as I start pushing down, the sample is going to go through the strainer and into the bowl below it. And all the big pieces, the fiber, chunks of undigested food, all that stuff will stay in the strainer and won't be part of the process after this. And I'm just going to keep pushing it down and spreading it around in there. They're like icing a cake, but inside out. You do want to put a little pressure, and you want to scrape now and then, so you open up those holes just to make sure that you get as much of the liquid out as you can. Once you have the liquid out, the strainer is going to look pretty much like this. And right now is when I wipe off the spoon. Carefully, not to foul another pair of gloves here. Okay, my spoon is clean. I'm putting this down in my trash can. And I'm going to lift the strainer and rescue the usable parts that are on the bottom side of the strainer. They've made it through the strainer, but weren't heavy enough to fall into the bowl. Like I said, every bit of this is precious, so you don't want to waste it. If you have somebody kind enough to donate to you, you want to respect every drop. This is like liquid gold. Okay, this is one nasty thing. What I do is place it down in my plastic lined trash can right next to me here, and after I do my time laying down, I will come out and clean that in the bowl. So actually undo the liner and put around it just to kind of keep everything in one area. Oh, I made a lovely mess in the bowl. This is typical. I do this almost every day, so I guess it's good that it happened. Once again, I'm going to use caution not to use my antibacterial wipes for this. Ooh, just put my thumb in it. Okay. Well, we're just about to the glove changing process anyway. So I'm just going to go around the edge so that I'm able to put my hands on this bowl without getting this on the gloves that I'm about to put on, because then I'm going to be handling capsules. And if you think it's messy now, it just started. Okay, so this is going to go in my trash bag here. Keep everything in a very contained area. And I'm going to go ahead and open this while I got my nasty gloves on. These gloves, they don't have anything on them right now, but I have touched a paper towel. So this goes in the trash also. Yeah, I'm just going to lay it to the side and get it later. Okay, now we're going to start the process with the capsules. I want to look at the specimen in here. And what I have, I'm going to mix it around a little bit. What I have is going to be about the thickness of pudding. And there's no lumps in there if you're lucky. So, I don't know if you can see that. But it's, at this point, this is no longer stool, this is medicine. And one more time, I'm going to, there goes my paper towels. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this spoon off. Like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna put it aside for later to be cleaned. Then I'm going to change gloves one last time here, hopefully, before I start handling the capsules. And these again go in the plastic bag in the trash can that's right next to you. So, what I have found works best for me, if I have a glove on both hands while I do this, it's a little hard to handle these little capsules. So, I try to wear just one glove. This is a bowl of the capsules. These are, and these are 000. Hold on, I can't remember which is, I can never remember which is which. Where does it doesn't say on here. Yes. Okay, the largest capsules that you can use are 000, and this is the size. When I first started doing this, I had 0 size, and you can see the difference in them here. There's a difference in sizes. And what I did initially was put the sample into the 0 size capsule and fill it, fill this capsule, and then place it inside the 000 capsule. The 000 capsule is just a gelatin capsule, this one, the one that you can see through. The 0 capsule, the white ones, are called enteric. Stomach acid melts them, or stomach acid melts the gelatin ones a lot faster than the enteric ones. However, the enteric ones do still melt with this in them. So, what I've done to streamline the process for me is just kind of gotten tough. And you can double capsule them like this. It takes you a lot of time. And you're getting a smaller amount of sample into the top part of your digestive tract. With that, you have to take a lot more of those. So what I've been doing this week is using the larger capsules, making 3 at a time. I make 3, then take 3 before they get too soft. So I'm going to keep a paper towel handy. And the reason for this you're going to see in 1 minute. So I'm going to start and take one of these gelatin 000 capsules. They come apart really easy. There's a small part, there's a short part, and a long part, if you can see that. And what we're going to do is fill the long part and then cap it with the short part on top of it. So I put the short part in my hand, keep the long one there handy. Oh, that wasn't smart. First I have to fill the syringe. I'm just going to put it in the sample and start drawing it up. And I'm putting it down under the top, so I'm drawing from the bottom, which makes for a messy syringe, which explains why we have this handy. And I'm just going to move this to the side because we're going to need that more than once through this process. I don't think that came all the way through. Okay. So, I have another bowl that I'm going to put completed capsules in. Actually, I'm going to switch those. once you start doing this, you need to keep moving. So if I don't talk a lot, it's because I'm concentrating. I'm filling that half, and I just put it on my thumb. If you get really picky about every little drop of this stuff, you'll never get it in your belly while the microbes are still alive. So this is why I like paper towels handy. I just found that glove. I'm not going to change it because it's probably going to happen again, but I am going to keep this handy. Okay. I want to fill it right to the edge and then cap it and put it in my bowl. Once again, fill it right to the top edge. I gotta hold the glove. See, they really get in the way in this particular part of the process. Okay, now I have 3 pills. I have my water here that has some electrolytes in it. And I'm gonna go ahead and take these 3 pills that I've just made. You want to take them with lots of liquid. And I continue the process. So there's 3 down. I see a dot on the end of my glove. I have no idea what it is, but I don't want it there. Just continuing the process. Oh, I see what the dot is. There's a hole in the end of my glove. Okay. Well, as long as I don't get anything there, I guess we're all right. Okay. And there again, I have 3 capsules. They're completed. Before they get soggy, I'm going to suck them down. Okay, I've been filling capsules and taking them. Somewhere in the process here, I've managed to get some of my sample on the outside of a capsule. So just because, I'm going to go ahead and call that a fouled capsule and put it in the trash. I don't know. You could probably take it, it wouldn't hurt. But I thought I'd cover that because it's not the first time it's happened. It's pretty sure that things like that are going to happen during this process. You just keep filling the syringe and continue filling capsules until you've made and taken 30 capsules. And I'm just about at the end here. So. Ooh. There's my 3, and I'm going to take those. You want to drink a lot of spring water with that. Once again, you do not want to add anything anywhere in this process that has chlorinated water in it. You want to stick with spring water. I just noticed somehow there is a dot on the side of my water bottle. This is when I use my antiseptic wipes. And I'm going to wipe that off there just because of a fuss budget. And I don't count that on there, so I'm going to wipe the whole thing down. And then, now, what I have to be aware of is I've introduced an antibacterial wipe to my hand that I'm going to be touching the capsules with. So that's something that we don't do. Things like this happen while you're going through the process. So what I'm going to do is discard this glove and everything that touched that. I'm going to go wash my hands real fast. Make sure that I have the antibacterial stuff off my hand. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to put on a fresh glove. I don't think these gloves are sterile, but they're clean. So, you know, they would be in individual packets if they were sterile. So, and before I did FMT, I didn't realize how necessary just regular bacteria in our environment is to the proper functioning of our bodies. I used to clean everything with bleach water. I'd wipe off door handles and my child's toys and all that stuff when he was little. Keep everything disinfected. Well, unfortunately, the world's paying a price for all the disinfecting that we're doing. And from what I've read, these little pills here are going to be the medicine of the future. And things like keeping things disinfected are going to the wayside. And now they're saying, let your kids go play in the dirt, let them put dirt in their mouths, let them do whatever, because it helps build their immune system. So after you do FMT, one of the things that I had to stop doing was disinfecting things all the time. Now that we have coronavirus, I'm back to disinfecting some things that other people touch, like my doorknobs and stuff if they come in my house. But for the most part, you just don't want to do that anymore. You want your body to build a stronger immune system. So here's 3 more down. And each time I take that with a lot of water. I have one more set and then I'll be finished for this round this morning. Whoops. Let me see something here. I need to refill my syringe and wipe it off. Just keeps things neater, I guess. These oral syringes are nice because they have a little tip on the end. You can kind of aim. It does take a little practice to get it in the hole, but it can be done. It really can. I have a little bit of sample on the outside of the capsule, and I'm just gonna, like we were just talking about, instead of worrying about every little thing being perfect, this isn't gonna kill me if a little bit of this touches the mucous membranes in my mouth, because that's where this particular illness started, was using a disinfecting mouthwash. Finally, after 5 days of vomiting and diarrhea, I read the label and it said antimicrobial mouthwash. It was for a gum infection. And apparently that was enough to, after a week of use, it was enough to upset the healthy microbiome that I had developed in my gut since I did this 14 months ago. So, let me make sure there's nothing on my hand before I go on. Okay, these are my last 3, I think. So, okay, I'm going to cap this because I do have electrolytes in there and I will use that again tomorrow. Okay, now I'm ready to add a little bit more water to my solution so that it will be easier to work on the other end. I just need to thin it just a little bit. Actually, a little more than that even. So now it's going to be just a little bit thinner than pudding. You don't want it real thin or you're not going to be able to hold it in. You don't want it real thick or it won't pass through anything to get to its destination. The first time I did this, I did the rectal part with an enema bag, and I could not get the solution to pass through the enema bag, so I rolled it down and squeezed it, and the tube blew off of it, and I sprayed my whole bathroom, and had very little sample left to work with that day. So, okay, that's not perfect, but I will come back later and clean that. I can add this to there. This goes into the trash. Yeah, move all this stuff back because I will be using them again tomorrow. And I'm going to lay this in the trash to be washed later. And then everything else, I put all together on one thing here. My gloves, everything except the sample itself. And I'm just gonna fold it and I clipped it under the clamp for the camera. Okay, and that will go in the bag. And then I take this with me to the front bathroom that I have all set up for the second part of this process. So I'll cut the film here. But everything that has been touched and fouled here on the table is in a bag here next to my seat. And it's all going to be disposed of in a sealed bag later. The reusable parts, the strainer and the spoon, will be scrubbed when the process is finished. Okay, I'm getting ready to move to location number 2 now. Welcome to my bathroom, my other bathroom. I have one bathroom set up as a lab. I was sitting on the stool and have my coffee table with a board on top of it as my desk. And here I'm just using a nice fluffy carpet that's on the rug, a pillow. I've got some handy wipes there in case I have any accidents, some Vaseline or petroleum jelly just to help insert the turkey baster. I have my sample here and ready to go. I have fresh chucks on the floor just in case we have any boo-boos. The whole bag of chucks here that I'll be using this week, but this is the turkey baster. Now when you insert the turkey baster, what we're going to do is suction up as much of that into this turkey baster as we can to get it as full as we can with as little air as possible in it. I'm going to put a big glob of petroleum jelly right at the opening of my anus, and I'm only going to insert this turkey baster maybe half an inch. It's really not that uncomfortable because I'm really fussy about that and I can stand it. So, and then I'll just insert this and then I'll push the bulb until I hear it go. I'll know that everything's out of it. There's only air. And then I'll put it back in, refill it. I'll keep doing that until this bowl is empty. And so here's what site number 2 looks like. And while I'm doing this, I usually lower the lights. I lay on my left side with my head on that pillow and draw my right knee up high on my chest. And breathe deeply and listen to relaxing music as I'm inserting the medication. And can't think of anything else here, so I'm going to lower the lights and do what I need to do. I hope you don't have any more questions about this. The handy wipes are really nice. Those are not antibacterial because I don't want them anywhere in this process at this point. I will clean my bathroom later before I allow anybody else in here, but it's important to know that your donor is healthy, doesn't have any parasites or hepatitis or anything like that. My donor is my brother. He's in excellent health, and we did this 14 months ago, and I experienced 14 months of the best health I've ever had in my life, so I'm just trying to repeat it this time and hoping that I can help somebody else that's out there struggling. So, I'm going to go do my thing. Back later. You're probably not going to get every little bit out of the bottom of this bowl because the turkey baster starts sucking air, and you don't want to really introduce a whole lot of air into the bowel. It just makes it harder to hold the sample later. So I'm just doing my time on my left side right now. I'm massaging my abdomen, and this is just kind of step one of the post-procedure things that you have to do. Okay, I just finished part 2 of my treatment, and around the corner here I have a nifty little bag of adult diapers, and I'm going to stick one of those on and go into the bedroom for the rest of my resting and massage time.